Welcome to That Little Crafting Place, where we make miniatures and much more. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we're going to have a little update on the balcony progress. I started this portion of the project 2.5 weeks ago. I paused to put in my garden, and then when I returned just after Mother's Day, it got blustery outside, and it has been rainy ever since. So once again, very typical of this channel, I have been sidelined due to weather. So I'm not going to be able to begin until it gets sunny because I promised my husband that this spring I would work entirely in the driveway and not get the garage dusty. I have a garden and patio canopy on order from Amazon. It'll be here probably next weekend, and after that I'll be able to work out in the sunshine and when it's sprinkling outside. I am reclaiming wood from my project to construct the base and the hand railing for the balcony. I'm going to give myself an inch of space for sanding and shaping both sections. I'm going to outline the upper shape of my library. This is going to give me the shape of my base and hand railing for my balcony. I'm going to give myself an inch for the base as well as the hand railing, so I have room for sanding and shaping of the railing. I am going to cut 6 sections, 3 for the base, 3 for the hand railing, and then we're going to laminate them. "24 hours to dry, and they're still sitting in the garage waiting for a nice sunny day." My most recent executive decision was to redesign the support system that will be under the first floor of the house. I'm going to take reclaimed wood from parts of my project that did not work out so well, and I'm going to create sections of support that are going to interlock inside the foundation of the house, and you'll see that finished project next Sunday. And this is what it's looked like most of the week. We'll take a quick walk around the yard and I'll share some of my garden progress. My snowball bush is 44 years old this year. It was reclaimed from a garden one town away when it was 30 years old, so I'm very happy that it survived. I brought it over as a stump and about 8 roots, and that was it, and it made it. The raised beds were constructed on a little bit of a wasted hillside. We decided, why should we water grass when we could be watering a vegetable garden? The raised beds are made completely from reclaimed wood. The sunflowers are in, the pumpkins are in. What else is in? The only thing left in the greenhouse are the tomatoes because they're still a little small yet. These are the cucumbers. I still have a few left to plant. I am companion planting around the garden this year, and my corn is in, and it's in the backyard. You'll see that. I am companion planting pole beans and cucumbers with the corn. That's my pumpkin bed, and those are some sunflowers. Chives, that helps keep bugs away. This bed is for companion planting tomatoes, onions, basil, dill, lettuce, all sorts of things. I already have my beans in, and the leeks right there, those wintered over, and I'm going to be separating those out in a little while here. I let a lot of my garden go to seed. I let the seeds fall where they were last year to thicken up the garden. I do have some weeding to do this week. As you can see, I let a lot of the phlox go to seed right there, and I'm very happy with that. My strawberries were not very happy living by the hops, so I moved them to strawberry pots. And the fish are hiding under the island. They like it under the island. This is the herb garden. I haven't done too much planting in there yet. I tucked a couple sunflowers in there. And this is where I plant tomatoes and patty pan squashes, and then of course here's the rhubarb. And this is a section I think I'm going to use as a lavender nursery bed. I have to weed along here yet. And this is all baby lavender. I'm going to move it to the garden, and I will allow it to grow there till next summer. And then I'll have all sorts of lavender for around the yard. I let everything go to seed this year. I have lots of lavender babies. And these are sunflowers. They don't look like much now, but they'll look a lot better in another month. My trumpeter vine did not survive. I found these black-eyed Susan vines on clearance, and I planted those instead, and I think they're going to be lovely. Yes, I have a little weeding to do this week. I caught a cold from a little someone that visited last week, but I think I'll manage to get outside when it's a little bit warmer. And let's wander to the backyard and we'll see what progress I've made back there so far this year. The hops are looking pretty good. I need to put a new archway above there. I need to replace my little shady walkway. It's a very clay area up the hill. It's hard to get some things to grow, but I've always been very fortunate with bleeding hearts, and they do love the shade. I added 6 more of them this year. They do make a wonderful hedge against the foundation. They go to seed as well, so if you keep your eyes open, you'll find a baby bleeding hearts in your garden. You just have to allow them to go to seed. I have to weed this bed next week. And the hawthorns are shedding their little petals, and there's a snowfall of pink all over the yard. It's very pretty. We tidied up the grape arbor this year, and that's my corn and cucumbers and pole beans. The pole beans are planted right next to the corn. This is borage. It's a wonderful plant, a wonderful herb, but just a warning, it spreads. So if you're going to plant it where you don't mind it spreading, because it will spread quickly. I do love it, and there is an area along the fence I'm allowing it to take over, but it does shed its seeds, and you'll find it in other places in your garden as well. It's too cold for the bees to come out today, but that's the bee yard. And I can't wait for the wild roses to bloom. They love the wild roses. Snow on the mountain is also another plant that is wonderful against a foundation or anywhere where you need a green ground cover, but it will take over your garden, so you have to be prepared for that. There's the bees, and I saw one lonely bee come out. Now we're going to wander up to the fountain. It's been turned off because I need to make a repair, and I'm going to share that repair with you right now. A couple weeks ago, while it was still sunny, I dried out the fountain and gave it a coat of Flex Seal. And so far, so good. But now we need to repair that little hole because I forgot to fix that when I had the fountain all apart. So we're going to do that right now. Now I use this simple set. I've had this bucket for about 7 years now. I think I originally paid $49 for this bucket of simple set at Home Depot. I have used it for several projects, and I still have a quarter of a bucket left. As you can see, we've been doing some root repair around the yard, pulling roots out from under the grass. That was a major project. And now we're going to fix the fountain. Just that simple. Now, how I preserve the simple set is I just simply cover it with plastic inside the bucket, and it will preserve for quite a while. I've been very fortunate, and I've been able to use this time and time again. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe and share my channel with your friends who enjoy crafting and miniatures and much, much more. Please tap that notification button for upcoming announcements of crafts and projects and build updates and thrifts now and again. But most of all, have a lovely, lovely day.